Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to explain about RLC circuits. So in RLC circuits, we have two types. Those are parallel RLC circuits with DC excitation and series RLC circuits with external DC excitation. So as we know earlier, we know the circuits which contain only one energy storage element combined with passive network which partly determine how long it takes either the capacitor or the inductor to discharge or charge. So the differential equations which resulted from analysis were always first order. In this, we consider more complex circuits which can obtain both an inductor and a capacitor. So the result is the second order differential equation for any voltage or current of interest. So when these RLC circuits have two initial conditions to solve each differential equations. So there are, as we know, there are two types. Those are parallel RLC and series RLC circuits. So these circuits occur in a wide variety of applications and very important. So let us know about this parallel RLC circuit first. So this is the circuit diagram for the parallel RLC with the DC excitation. So here we have the process of finding the response. So also we have to assume that the initial current in the initial current in the inductor and the voltage across the capacitor are zero. So we have to apply the Kirchhoff's current laws. So we have to apply the Kirchhoff's current law in this circuit so that we have the equation as V minus V by R is equal to 1 by L integral of T naught to T. Here I didn't mention, I only mentioned T, VDT plus C into dVT by dt. So by further simplified, we have the equation as here V by R is equal to V by R is equal to V by R plus 1 by L integral of T into VDT plus C into dV by dt. So here we have to take V is equal to Vc of t and VL of t because of current and capacitor as well as an inductor both are equal to V. So when we differentiate both sides of this equation, uh, once with respect to time, we get the standard linear second order homogeneous differential equation, which will be this C into d square, that is the square, d square V by dt square plus 1 by R into dV by dt plus 1 by L into V equal to 0. As if we differentiate this, we have the equation as d square V by dt square plus 1 by RC into dV by dt plus 1 by LC into V equal to 0. So here the solution V of t is the desired response. So this for this response we can write the equation as S square plus 1 by RC into S plus 1 by LC into V of t is equal to 0. Here S is the operator equivalent to d by dt and the corresponding characteristics equation as explained as as given by the equation as here S square plus 1 by RC into S plus 1 by LC is equal to 0. So this equation is usually called as an auxiliary equation or as the characteristics equation. So it can be satisfied, then our assumed solution is correct. If it's satisfied, then our assumed solution is correct. If not, it's not the correct. So this is the quadratic equation of the roots of S1 and S2. So which are given as here S1 is equal to minus 1 by 2RC plus root over 1 by 2RC whole square minus 1 by LC, as well as we have the S2 is equal to minus 1 by 2RC minus root over 1 by 2RC square minus 1 by LC. So we have the general form of responses as well. So the general form of response will be V of t is equal to A1 e to the power S1t plus A2 e to the power S2t. Here S1 and S2 will be in equations as given above. S1 and S2, and the A1 and A2 are the two arbitrary constants which are be selected to satisfy the two simplified initial conditions. So we have to substitute these values here. So uh, here the form of the natural response has given very little insight of natural curve. We might obtain V of t were plotted as the function of time. So the relative amplitudes of A1 and A2, for example, certainly be important in determining the shape of response curve. So then further the constants of S1 and S2 can be real numbers or conjugate complex numbers depending upon the values of R, L, and C in the given network. So these two cases will produce fundamentally different responses. So therefore it will be help to make some simplifying substitutions in equations for S1 and S2. So since these exponents S1t and S2t must be dimensionless, so S1 and S2 must have the unit of some dimensions quantity per second. So hence in the equation S1 and S2 we see the units of 1 by 2 RC and 1 by root over LC must also be in seconds. So these units are called frequencies. So as we know, the frequency of a resonant will be, I didn't mention here, but the frequency of resonant will be omega is equal to 1 by root over LC and alpha will be 1 by 2 RC, where S1 and S2 equations. Okay, those will be are called the resonant frequencies. So coming to the next, we have a series RLC circuit with external DC. So here also we have to apply KVL. In this we have to apply KVL to the series circuit uh, so that we have the equation as V is equal to VR of t plus VC of t plus VL of t. So we have three in series, resistance, capacitance, and inductor both are in series. So we have to apply KVL. Then V is equal to VR of t plus VC of t plus VL of t. So by representing the voltages in terms of current I in the circuit, we get the following differential equation, which will be Ri plus 1 by C integral I dt plus L into di by dt is equal to V. So to convert it into differential equation, it is differentiated on both sides with respect to time, so that we can get the equation as L into d square I by dt square plus R into di by dt plus 1 by C I equal to 0. So this equation can also be written as here S square plus R by L into S plus 1 by LC into I equal to 0. Here S is an operator equivalent to d by dt. And the corresponding characteristics equation will be given as S square plus R by L into S plus 1 by LC is equal to 0. So that equation will be a standard quadratic equation, and the roots S1 and S2 are given, which are S1 is equal to S1 S2 is equal to minus R by 2L plus or minus root over R by 2L square minus 1 by LC is equal to minus alpha plus or minus root over alpha square minus omega naught square. So here alpha is the exponential damping coefficient and omega naught is the same resonant frequency. So by we know that the parallel RLC circuit we have alpha and omega equations as an resonant frequency, exactly as a resonant frequency we have alpha and omega. So here also the same, we have alpha is equal to, so alpha is equal to R by 2L and omega is equal to 1 by root over LC. So these are the equations for the resonant frequency of alpha and omega naught and the alpha. So here A1 and A2 must be the initial conditions. So by coming to the summary of both RLC circuit in series and parallel, so whenever we determine the transient behavior of a simple three-element RLC circuit, we have must sorry we must decide we have to decide whether it is a series or a parallel first, so that we may use the correct relationship for alpha. So these two equations will be here. Alpha is equal to 1 by 2 RC, which is parallel RLC, which is for the parallel RLC, and alpha is equal to R by 2L, which is for series RLC. So our first decision will be have to check whether it is the series or parallel, and the second decision which we have to take was comparing with alpha with omega. So which so that if alpha is so here if alpha is greater than omega naught, then the circuit is overdamped. So we have the response as Fn of t is equal to a1 e to the power s1 of t plus a2 e to the power s2 of t. If alpha is equal to omega naught, then the circuit will be critically damped, and the equation will be Fn of t is equal to e to the power minus alpha t into a1t plus a2. And finally, if alpha is less than omega naught, then we have the response will be underdamped. So then the equation will be Fn of t is equal to e to the power minus alpha t into a1 cos omega dt plus a2 sin omega dt. So these are the equations for both RLC circuit in parallel and series. So this is for the today's video. Thank you.